Lewis Hamilton's British Grand Prix return with Ferrari was meant to be a defining homecoming, a chance for him to stand on the Silverstone podium in red for the very first time, with the entire grandstand roaring for their national hero. But as the checkered flag fell, it wasn't champagne Hamilton was left holding. It was a bitter sense of what might have been. Fourth place, frustratingly close, but not enough. And the reason? Not simply the weather, strategy roulette, or even tire degradation. The truth was far more alarming. Ferrari lost track of him. Literally, on one of the most technically demanding drying tracks of the season, where the crossover from intermediate tires to slicks would determine everything, Ferrari was flying blind. Their GPS signal for Hamilton had failed completely, leaving the pit wall without real-time location data, delta times, or pit window calculations for their star driver. Imagine that. Silverstone at full intensity, clouds rolling in, every team making second-by-second calls, and Ferrari left to guess. This wasn't just a slip-up. This was a catastrophic systems failure in one of the most precision-dependent sports on the planet. And it happened at Lewis Hamilton's home race, right when everything was perfectly poised for a podium charge. How did a world championship-winning operation like Ferrari find themselves racing blind at one of the most crucial moments of the season? Let's unpack exactly what went wrong, because this was no ordinary pit strategy misfire. This was a technical nightmare. The key to understanding just how badly Ferrari was compromised lies in the precise nature of their data loss. In modern Formula One, GPS is not just a tracking tool. It's the backbone of pit wall strategy. Every decision Ferrari makes during a race is built on real-time telemetry streams. Exact car position on track, sector times, delta gaps, and tire performance trends, all visualized in milliseconds. When Frederic Vasseur admitted post-race that Ferrari had lost the GPS of Lewis for the entire race, he wasn't describing a minor glitch. He was describing a total blackout. Without GPS, Ferrari couldn't calculate where Hamilton was relative to competitors like Nico Hülkenberg or Lando Norris. They couldn't monitor when his intermediate tires were falling out of their operating window, nor could they accurately time when the track had dried enough for slicks. So when they brought Lewis in for dry tires on lap 41, it was a best guess, not a precision call. The track was still too damp in critical corners, most notably at turn 3. And that's where Hamilton immediately lost precious time after his stop. The telemetry from Mercedes and McLaren, by contrast, showed they held back by just a lap or two longer, watching the track dry and their competitors struggle before committing slicks. Ferrari couldn't see that. Their engineers were working with incomplete information, and in a sport where one lap too early can mean 10 seconds lost, that gap was fatal. But beneath the cold technical failure was a far more human story, one that spoke to the fragile trust between driver and team. For Lewis Hamilton, this was meant to be the beginning of a new chapter at Ferrari, the culmination of months of adaptation and behind-the-scenes work to integrate himself into the rhythms of a team known for its passionate intensity, but also for strategic missteps. The calls from the pit wall lacked conviction. The timing felt wrong. The car was performing, but every time he tried to push, the conditions or the strategy seemed to push back harder. His radio message after the race was telling. "I had no confidence in the car," he said. "Every time I built it up, it got knocked back down." That isn't just a comment on car performance. It's a reflection of the psychological hit a driver takes when trust in the pit wall evaporates mid-race. Watching Hülkenberg snatch the podium right out from under him must have stung. But even more damaging is what this race might mean for Hamilton's confidence in Ferrari's decision-making going forward. And that could be the most lasting loss of all. The consequences of Ferrari's GPS failure at Silverstone don't stop at one lost podium. In a season where every point matters, and where Red Bull's dominance has begun to look vulnerable, even marginal losses can carry outsized weight in the championship fight. Before the British Grand Prix, Hamilton sat in 6th place in the driver's standings, tantalizingly close to breaking into the top 5, and crucially within striking distance of his own teammate Charles Leclerc. A podium finish would have netted Hamilton 15 valuable points and vaulted him into 5th overall, just ahead, signaling not just progress, but the possibility of becoming Ferrari's de facto team leader in the second half of the season. Instead, fourth place earned him 12 points, allowing Leclerc, who finished just behind him, to keep the upper hand in the standings. Those 3 points may seem trivial, but they represent far more: psychological momentum, narrative control, and crucial leverage as the Scuderia shapes its development focus in the coming races. Ferrari itself lost ground to Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship as well, a gap that could prove decisive in prize money allocations and technical resource advantages under F1's cost cap era. In short, Ferrari's GPS malfunction didn't just rob them of a Silverstone podium. It subtly but significantly altered the trajectory of both Hamilton's and the team's championship campaigns. And with a tight midfield battle developing, these points could define their season's outcome. This wasn't the first time Ferrari has stumbled in the heat of battle at Silverstone, and it likely won't be the last. But what makes this particular failure so resonant is how it fits into a broader pattern that has haunted Ferrari for decades. Moments when technology, strategy, and execution have faltered precisely when it mattered most. From the infamous 1999 British Grand Prix, when a pit lane error left Michael Schumacher with a broken leg, to Sebastian Vettel's costly spin at Silverstone in 2018 while chasing Lewis Hamilton himself, Ferrari's history at this track is littered with what-ifs. The Scuderia has always operated on a knife's edge, their passionate Italian approach producing moments of brilliance and heartbreak in equal measure. What we saw at this year's British Grand Prix was another entry into that long ledger, a small but devastating technical failure that derailed a promising performance. But this GPS blackout also speaks to a more modern dilemma facing Ferrari. In an era where Formula One is defined by data-driven precision,